The notes on this podcast, it just says sleeting at farm, Texas snow in parentheses. It's raining. It's not sleeting here.
It was like sleet.
It was sleeting earlier.
It was sleeting.
Is that Texas snow? Is that like
I
a
don't
common
know.
thing to call it Texas snow?
I don't know. I just put that in there.
We got some real Texas snow last year during the what do we call it? The winter apocalypse?
The ice apocalypse.
The ice
was
apocalypse. Yeah.
I wasn't even here.
Are we going to get another ice apocalypse? Apparently around the United States right now, it's like people are getting record snow.
I hope
Yeah.
so. That was late February. No, mid-February.
Something like that.
And so, who knows?
Okay. Well, welcome back to the Yee Yee podcast. My name is Parker Smith. I'm back, baby. I'm joined by Ben and Brian.
Hello.
Woo!
Hayden is sick with everybody else who's sick. Brian was sick yesterday. We lost Lulu. We lost Caleb this week.
They're still alive. They just weren't here.
They are dropping like flies. And by dropping like flies, I mean they're at home watching Netflix in a blanket with some soup. Do people still eat soup when they're sick? Is that a thing?
Personally, I do. But,
You do?
yep,
Did you have it yesterday?
I did not.
Wow.
What
You're a
kind
liar.
of soup would you have if you did have it?
I like the soup. I think it's Campbell's, but that come in the container that you can just drink it.
So it's like
Just-
an instant. You put it
You
in
just
the
put it
mic.
in the microwave and then you start having soup.
Well, I mean, technically, you could drink out of any container.
True.
But
But it's just the container that makes it a big difference.
Were you a big soup and crackers guy growing up, Ben?
not growing up, but here recently, I started just making it fresh. I like that. I don't think I could eat soup
fresh
out of a
meaning
can.
out of the can?
No, like everything from scratch.
Wow, you make from scratch soup.
Wow. Do you fillet the chicken and
No,
Process
I usually
it.
just boil the chicken.
Man, that's good. Wait, what else do you put in it?
Vegetables, sometimes like I put like Pillsbury biscuits in it for like little dumplings
Little
sometimes.
chicken and dumplings.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a great southern meal.
Mm.
Another good one is like chili. Some type of chili. I feel like that's
Yeah.
big with hunters. I haven't had a good venison chili in a while.
That's what my mom always makes. So
Beans or no beans in chili? Do y'all have a strong opinion? Granger and his tour manager Chris Lee have gotten into pretty serious arguments about this.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought all Texans like agreed
Honestly,
on how chili was.
I'm not super versed on the subject or the argument. I think that Granger's argument was beans are okay in chili. Chris says absolutely no beans in chili. Granger's argument was like in the cowboy days, how chili even came about was people would just throw together whatever they had left, like in their packs, and throw it in some boiling water. And so he was like, a lot of times all people had was beans because it's like a nice inexpensive option, and the meat was like more of like a luxury. So he was like, Texas chili, like cowboy chili, started with beans, but some people are like, absolutely no beans.
I feel like it doesn't make that big of a difference for me.
It's probably a very mature way of looking at it, Brian.
But people are so opinionated on it.
They are. Okay, that was kind of a tangent. NCAA championship was this week. Did y'all make your picks in the last episode? I didn't watch the whole last episode.
We did not.
We talked about a lot of football, but not that.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess we should.
This is now the Yee Yee Football Podcast.
easy.
Welcome
Yeah.
to it.
Football's almost over though.
I do love
It
college
is.
football though. I'm
Yeah.
not a huge sports guy and everything else, but I love college football.
Yeah, there's just nothing like it, honestly.
I feel like I'm a diehard Aggie fan, so it would have been nice if if Bama won to make us look good, but I think it's better for college football for Bama to start losing because it's
Yeah.
just getting ridiculous.
I saw a stat, and this could be wrong, but if you had gone to Alabama since Nick Saban started coaching there, and you stayed your 4 years, you're guaranteed to win a national championship as a player. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How much longer is he going to coach? How old is he? I mean, we got to be witnessing one of the greatest streaks in college football history.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a dynasty.
Has he won more than any other coach in history?
Probably. I can't imagine anyone else winning more than he has.
There was a while there where if there was like every other year, if Alabama won the national championship, then I'm a Patriots fan. They would lose the Super Bowl. But every single year that Alabama lost the national championship or didn't make it, the Patriots won a Super Bowl. So I'm kind of hopeful for this year now that Alabama lost, but my hopes are going to be brought down pretty quick.
Did you guys do anything for New Year's Eve? Did y'all talk about this last episode?
I don't think so. I went to a friend's house and watched one of the bowl games and played pool for most of the night. Nothing too exciting.
I saw some TikToks go viral of different parents tricking their children into thinking it was midnight. Those are pretty funny.
Yeah, they're like any time can be midnight if you just go on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
the
pull
kids
up
are like
video.
cheering on the screen, and then the camera pans down to her phone.
It's like 9:43.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Did you do anything on New Year's?
Yeah, we had my girlfriend's best friend got married, and she was the maid of honor, so that was a lot of fun. And a lot of people complain about having a wedding on a holiday. The wedding itself was on New Year's Day, and the rehearsal dinner was on New Year's Eve. But it was a lot of fun because it's like you have an excuse to like dress up, go get a free dinner at like a really nice place, and then you already have like a big group of people that you can like go somewhere and celebrate the New Year. So I had a blast. I thought it was fun. But yeah, we were up in Dallas.
Nice.
You guys have on some winter launch apparel, which
Yeah,
will be
we do.
coming.
So do you.
This is the last episode before the winter launch. We will not have a podcast episode next week because of the craziness of launch week. It's hard to believe another launch week is already here.
I was just thinking about that. Like the last launch feels like 2 weeks ago, but that was middle of September, so it's been a few months. But yeah, I think we're getting ready. Like these new clothes. What do you got on over there, Ben?
So we got what is called the God and Country tee, I believe. Is that right, Parker?
That's right.
But I'm going to stand up and show you all the back.
It's got a cool quote from, dang it, I forgot who said the quote, but it's got his quote about remembering God in the U.S. and how no religion is mandated, but if we forget about God, then that country will be unsuccessful on the world scale.
It's a really cool shirt, too.
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't done like a blue shirt in a while, and that's my favorite color. So pretty cool.
Good to know. We have the Leave Your Mark hat,
Yes,
which
we do.
You said that your old high school football coach would say to leave a mark.
Don't get too close.
Ben is showcasing it on YouTube right now.
Which is why you should watch on YouTube.
Yes, it is.
Or Spotify. Sometimes it works.
There's video on
And sometimes it
Spotify?
doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Oh, is this one going to work?
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Only those on Spotify right now listening know for
Mhm.
sure. We don't even know yet.
Well, you're guaranteed to see it if you're on YouTube. That is the point.
True.
Or if you want to see everything else, next Wednesday, we're doing a live stream. Right? Next Wednesday?
Yes, I may be in Europe next week,
Yep.
which will be interesting. So my girlfriend is currently in Austria trying out. She's on a tour run by an American company to get American girl volleyball players in Europe to. It's like a tryout process for the European Professional Volleyball League. America does not have a professional volleyball league, so a lot of the girls go over there after college. So she's over there, and it's this crazy tryout process where, like, over a 10-day period, you try out in different countries. You try out with different teams, so you could play a team that needs somebody, and then all the while their coaches are filming them and sending it to different scouts around Europe. So, like Amy said, one of the girls like got hit up by a team in Greece because of a video that their coach sent, and they were like, you have one day to decide if you want to come and join this league, and it's like a 4-month commitment. So it's pretty crazy. But all that being said, if she does not make a team, then I'm going to go like this coming Monday to Europe for like a week and a half. So we'll be coordinating that launch with me gone. So with that live stream, I think it'll be Hayden and Tyler on the live stream.
Yeah.
And then Ben and Brian will be help facilitating it.
So the last launch we did from a hotel room in Bristol, and we didn't think we could top that, but you being in Europe might be even crazier.
Yeah, the time change actually isn't going to be too bad. Thankfully, it's 5 p.m. in Paris will be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time in the United States. So I figure I could just work like that early afternoon, because usually before the launches we shut the website down 3 hours before the launch and work on all the back end stuff and make sure that everything looks right. And so I should really just be able to work from like 2 to 7 in Paris, and that should line up perfectly. And then I think I'm just going to buy, some of y'all listening may know better than me, but I think that international cell phone plans are like not as scary as they used to be. So I think I'm going to do that, because it's like, it's not
Definitely
rocket science, but I've been trying to FaceTime Amy, and like she's in like has great Wi-Fi, but like we cannot get it to work. Like it just randomly crashes, and we tried WhatsApp, FaceTime, and we cannot do it.
That's
And
so
so
weird.
I'm like, how's it 2022 and we like still can't? That sounds very conceited and first world problem, but
Yeah.
It's one of those things we forget about.
True.
Yeah. Bad internet.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to buy an international plan, but
Got a fan of the week this week? We have Lori Leis, Leis, Lees,
Let's go with Lise.
Lori Lees.
Yes. Woo! Let's go, Lori.
Thanks for listening, Lori.
what does she get?
A shout out.
Nice. That's cool.
And she said, it takes all personalities to make a company work. Hayden, don't worry about the haters. They usually have something lacking in their life story. They have to hate on somebody. So.
We were joking before we got on that Hayden inadvertently, or maybe advertently, just kind of baited people to tell them that they love him and want to have him on. But
We got a lot of Hayden support. We love to see that.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
it is not a.
Lift
He is.
people up. Don't tear them down.
He really. He really is in a difficult position, being like on the management side and then having his face and being like the only one. You guys are like have grown your personal brands a lot this year, but like before that, it was really just Hayden was the only one that anybody knew. And so it's tough when you have like these three brothers who are like the Smith brothers, and then you have this like other guy who's like not one of the family. And then Hayden just in general has like a very like polarizing personality and like doesn't really have a filter. He's gonna like tell you what he's thinking, which is great. And so it has been a learning process that he's been kind of thrown into the fire of the internet. Of just, that's what happens when you put your face out there. And we try to grow this thing and create a podcast. And there's a saying that people would rather be like an author would rather be an author that no one's ever heard of than an author that people critique and a few people think is bad, which is a good quote for anything. If you're wanting to get started on anything, to think about, okay, am I just afraid of like what a few people's opinions are going to be? Or would I rather just be someone that no one's ever heard of and not start it?
So true. We were talking about this earlier, but there's so many misconceptions about working here. I think a lot of people think we have just fun all the time, and
I mean, we do.
we do. Yeah.
But what kind of fun? That's a different question.
Yes, I feel
Brian
like
has no fun.
no. I feel like so many people think that working here is like the Holler music video every day, and unfortunately, is not.
No.
What's some common misconceptions of working here? What would you say?
That we just play video games all day?
Yeah, just NASCAR and
It happens.
NCAA.
I'm halfway
From
joking
time to
because
time.
Tyler has been playing video games for about 4 hours in the lobby, For those of y'all who used to play NCAA football, the old video game, they discontinued it in 2014. So the only way to get it is to buy it used, and it's very expensive to buy that. And he had to buy the old PlayStation 3 console. So anyway, Tyler's playing NCAA football. But that is the beauty of working at a business like this, is like we don't have a clock in, clock out, unless you're on the distribution side, shipping out orders. But like on the brand side, we try to keep it efficient to where like whenever we finish our tasks for the day, like you're pretty much free to do whatever. And so Tyler is insanely efficient with his time. Like he probably woke up at 5:30 this morning, did all of his journaling and his difficult tasks. He worked out, and then he did his critical tasks for the company, being the founder and being more like an overseer of thinking about future big projects and connections and stuff. That it's like, yeah, you can play video games in the afternoon if you get all your stuff done.
It's true.
I heard someone say yesterday that like busyness doesn't translate to like importance. And it's like people just love to seem like they're super busy, and it's like it's okay if you're not super busy. But that's like, don't y'all think that whenever you talk to someone and make small talk, people just love to see how busy they are?
Yep. And it's like, if you have a list of things to do, if you give yourself all day to do it, it's going to take you all day to do it. But if you give yourself 45 minutes, you can usually knock out most of those things, no matter what it is. And I think like people just pretend, like you said, to be busy when really they're just, if you look at how they're spending their time, it's really not all towards work or whatever the case is.
That's the main concept of the book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, that just went viral and took over basically an entire generation. And his point was just to that like if you really wanted to, you could bring in, like, obviously there's exceptions to this. I'm not going to make generalizations, but in general, that maybe that's cutting an hour off your workday, but he would argue that you could get everything done for that entire day that you needed to in 1 hour if you were just like, I'm going to put my phone up and just like absolutely crush it for 60 minutes and like zero distractions. And like the American workplace is just interesting how like we kind of just milk it. It's like a 7-hour, 8-hour workday. Like it's going to take you all 7 or 8 hours, like you said, to get all of your tasks done. Versus if we can create this business, this small business from scratch and be like, let's build this off of efficiency to where it's just like, dude, if you get everything done in 2 hours, then do whatever you want. The other side of that is dangerous is you have an entire generation of people that's just trying to not work. And that is just like, I'm just going to outsource everything. I'm going to work an hour and a half today. But then it's like, what are you going to do? Like, God made us to work. That's how we find fulfillment and responsibility and meaning. And anybody who's ever either lost a job or quit a job or been in between work know that first day of not working is awesome. But then day 2 comes, and then day 3 comes, and you just start to lose purpose, and you just start to get really bored. And you have a lot of millennials and Gen Z who are like, I just want to go and work in my pajamas and sit on the beach and drink margaritas all day. But it's just, you're going to be miserable.
Yep, I agree.
So that, what was the
We were talking about common misconceptions about working at Yee Yee, and we just got deep.
Yeah.
That was deep. I'd say one of the common misconceptions that I face almost on a daily basis is just based around the social media accounts, just people wondering who's running them. And a lot of people think it's Granger. But unless it's his personal, it is not Granger. It's like usually just me. And I've gotten like messages that are like, Granger, like, when's the next launch? And it's like, my name is Yee Yee, but the launch is in 2 weeks.
Did you make the Georgia Bulldog meme last night?
I did.
That was great.
Yeah.
I looked at it this morning. Ben will make a lot of his memes from scratch. And last night he was like, what's something that would make a country boy bored? And then I saw his meme today of like a Georgia Bulldog crying or something, and I was like, that's what he was probably wanting that picture for.
Yes.
Because that Bulldog looked bored.
Yes. I asked everyone, and they're like, "Are you playing Family Feud right now?" And I'm like, "No, I'm making memes."
What was
Come on, guys.
what was the final caption that you came up with?
I think it was something along the lines of when that one sad country song comes on and you close your eyes so no one can tell that you're crying or something like that.
That was genius.
But
Brian,
I was thinking
Brian,
on
can you
that
put
one.
that on the screen?
I sure
for
can.
people listening.
Here.
Right here, right over my face.
Here. Okay.
One thing that Granger really does do a lot of his own social media, which is very rare for someone with that many followers at that level. But pretty much every post that Granger does do is him. I just dropped my phone. But yeah, Brian, any other misconceptions of working with Yee Yee on the shipping side?
People
maybe?
think
I
we're
don't know.
drinking beer all the time. I don't think we've ever have.
Hayden will occasionally in the afternoon,
Friday
like on a
afternoon.
launch.
Oh,
Sure.
Friday
Yeah.
afternoon, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, I think like a lot of offices do.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
back.
But I see comments all the time on Facebook and stuff. I'd love to come drink a beer with y'all at the farm or whatever, but we really don't do that. Yeah.
Have y'all ever been the type of person that is able to like get in the zone with like like either a beer or like a glass of whiskey and
Yes.
write? You can do that.
So it wasn't much writing, but I used to, like, in college, if I had some like work to crank out and I had like a leftover beer or two from the weekend or something like that I didn't want just sitting for like a month at a time or anything, just kind of like get to homework. It was usually math, so I'm not sure how that worked out well for me, but no, it's like as long as you just have one or two, it's pretty under control.
Drinking one just makes me sleepy, so I don't think I ever could do any sort of work.
What if you shotgunned it?
Maybe. Never tried that.
Does drinking more than one liven you up?
I think so. I think you just have to like get past like a certain point, but it's usually after like the first one I get sleepy.
Yeah.
But once you get into like 15 or 16, it's usually a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beer number 16 is usually.
Just kidding.
I would definitely be asleep if I had
Usually
16
takes it
beers,
to the
too.
next level.
You have to find the slot.
I feel like shows like Mad Men just like normalize that, like just. I guess that's like an old school like 60s thing of like having the handle of whiskey and the nice glasses like in a nice set. But like I don't know, people kind of romanticize that era. Maybe they did it and maybe they didn't, but it's also just like those guys were alcoholics. It's like
Yeah.
it's like 9 a.m. and they need a drink to
Yeah.
To function.
That's so
function
true.
and get an idea. I don't know. Nowadays it's just like kombucha and espresso. You don't need caffeine to function, which is crazy.
Well, I do enjoy caffeine, but I think I'm caffeine sensitive, so I can't sleep at night if I have caffeine during the day usually.
Brian is a digital creative, and so we always joke that like the creatives, like they're first of all they're nocturnal, and so like if you're listening to this, I feel like there's like two types of people. You're either like good to go in the mornings and during the day, and that's your creative time, or like you're a night owl and like 10, 11, 12 p.m. at night when it gets quiet and everything kind of shuts down. That's when you can like focus and get your stuff done. And I see the benefits in both. When I was in college, I used to like to study at night.
When I was younger, like, because a lot of it is editing on the computer, and I would like try to edit during the day, and there'd be so many distractions either at home or my phone or whatever, and I would end up like drinking caffeine at like 11 p.m. and staying up till 5 a.m. editing, and I would get in the zone so well. And then I haven't done that in a few years, but that would just really ruin my next day also. And so try to avoid doing that. I think I've gotten into a lot better rhythm of just like knocking everything out early in the day. So I can just enjoy that time in the afternoon and evening.
Brian has on the women's blue clear sky sweater.
It's a men's right now.
It is a men's.
Normally women's.
Gender depends on who's wearing it, I guess. That double Y is embroidered on there. It's just like the forest green sweater that we released in the fall. That was a bestseller. I'm
It's
excited.
insanely comfortable.
Mhm.
I will say.
Insane.
That's going to be
Insane.
a favorite for sure.
Blue clear sky, like the song.
Yep.
Lyric.
You got it.
Mm.
You got it.
Yeah, ever since we first sold out of those forest green ones, like I don't know how quick it was, but it was pretty quick during the fall launch. People were already asking for restocks, and even like months later, we had not only restocked the sweater and sold out of it again, but people were already asking like, oh, like I saw these online, like, do you still have any? Or so I can guarantee you that a lot of people are going to be waiting for this one.
Cool. I'm excited. I have on this Faith Family Outdoors hoodie, which is cool. We haven't had like a minimalist men's hoodie in a while. And then this double Y branded hat. I'm really excited. I was looking at we're basically finalizing all of the products in the store. And I really like that navy women's hoodie.
It's one of my
with
favorites.
the double Y brand. We've had so many awesome photo shoots. Like you guys, I'm so excited to show y'all like all the different photo and video that we've had. We did a shoot in California. We did Brian did 3 shoots in Texas. We did a shoot in Colorado with like over a dozen models. I feel like there's going to be some really cool content coming out with this launch. I'm really excited.
Launches are always just so fun, and it's I think this will be my last. No, spring launch will be. But winter launch 21 was my first launch that I was working for Yee Yee. So it's kind of like interesting. I was remote at that time, but just seeing how my role has changed a little bit, where there's a little more to do now that I'm here, and it's just exciting to think about it. It's like full circle for me now.
Yeah.
Second winter launch.
I was thinking about that too. That was my first launch last year, was the winter launch, and all we did was one photo shoot one afternoon at Granger's house. That was all the content we did for that last launch, and so just to see how much it's grown in just a year.
We're in an industry where it's really hard to not look at competitors and people around you in the space and then just get envious and jealous, or like start to think bad about yourself based on where someone else is today. But we've always tried to keep the mentality of just be better than the last launch, than who we were the last launch. And over time, you're going to grow and you're going to get there. So especially since last winter, it's really cool to see how far we've come and to see how far you guys have come. And I'm really excited.
And just the products too. I feel like
Yeah.
they just keep getting better.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I feel like every single time I'm like, how are we going to top that fall launch with all the cool items that we had? And then I started seeing everything coming into the warehouse for winter launch. And I was like, okay, so it's pretty nice stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how we top another launch.
I'm in the process of finalizing all of our fall 22, winter 23 stuff. And that will be the biggest launch that we've put in terms of like an entire team that we have preparing that deck, and the designs and the logos and the cut and sew products. We have everything from like women's corduroy sweaters to Sherpas to huge puff jackets to like ski jackets to bunch of awesome stuff. So it's exciting. I'm really excited for this winter launch. And again, we won't have a podcast episode next week. So just keep an eye on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. And we'll be putting out all this launch stuff. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.